So as I wrote today, we are changing a little the format. So as we discussed last time, we want to have a community member present his or her work in the first like 15-20 minutes I'd propose and discuss a little, and then we go into the study path again. Yeah. That's good for you guys as well?
Yes.
Awesome. So yeah, I'm happy that Ben will show his work. I'm already excited. I think you're doing great stuff in Omniverse, and yeah, go ahead and share what you can share.
Okay, so thank you for the time. So I hope I can put my questions also here to the group, if anyone has an idea for that. Currently, I'm joining with a different PC, so I cannot directly show USD Composer, so that I can next time. But I will a little bit explain what I have done in the past and what I'm working now at the USD Composer. And the question, I start with a question, is I search a solution. Let me start a little bit different. USD Composer has the possibility to have a huge data. So in the background of Micha, you can see that's a production area. So that's huge. So yes, huge data in USD Composer. And if you manipulate objects, you have the gizmo. And my question is, knows anyone a way to switch or jump the gizmo to the viewpoint? So currently, if you have objects, then the gizmo is far away most of the time. And if you zoom in and you will manipulate objects, the gizmo is outside the viewpoint. So that is a question. I can't find any solution for that. To build an own gizmo, that's clear, that's not the problem. But I ask more if I can manipulate the gizmo, or not manipulate. So if I have an option to say, hey, the gizmo jumped directly to the viewport. I'm not sure you all know what I mean.
No, can you maybe like show it or like?
Yeah, okay, but one second. I must start. Wait. Sorry for that. So in the parallel, I will I start the machine. Sorry for that. I can a little bit explain. In the past, I'm working most of the time, the last 20 years, in virtual commissioning projects. And in these virtual commissioning projects, most of the time, I'm using Process Simulate as virtual commissioning software. So we connect the digital twin, robot cells, production lines, with a real PLC, like Siemens PLC, OPCUA, MQTT, different PLCs, and test and evaluate the PLC and robot programs. So in the last years, most of the softwares reach a very good state, and it's possible to evaluate and test all these things. So now we start to bring the virtual commissioning more to NVIDIA Omniverse to use the power, and you have the possibility to add bigger cells, bigger projects from different softwares and all together in one environment. So give me 1 second, I must type the code here.
I can share a composer if you need.
No, wait, I will show. I must type the pin. Wait a second. Sorry for that. 1 second, please.
Sure.
Was ist denn hier das Problem? Abgelehnt. Warum abgelehnt?
Maybe while we're waiting, does anybody else has experience with virtual commissioning so far?
Oh.
I know the Kempten guys.
So I will show, currently I have no connection, so give me 1 second, I must wait a little bit. So you can see on my YouTube channel a lot of videos, so I'm not sure you have see at LinkedIn the last post. That is things what I'm do currently is in USD Composer an example water. Realistic water. So in the meantime, I'm checking if I can connect.
And that's for the shader, or what did you do? Like
What do you mean with shader?
for the water?
That is physical. That's physical. That I'm use the PhysX engine to create the water with particle and with a full rendering. That is this the what is it? The properties like water. So you can see with a. So now I have here my USD Composer. So so you can see I have a lot of extensions. So what I mean is sorry for that. So you have, if I create any objects, you have the gizmo. The gizmo is these XYZ coordinate system. So, and the problem is, if you are, example, I'm rotate to this side, and then you see the gizmo here. So, but if I'm selecting, I go a little bit outside, I go, sorry, I click here. So now it's not easy to show. So wait a moment. So now you can see the gizmo of these box of these two elements are here. So now if I'm looking, I'm zooming to this element here. So now I'm here. If I select the X form, the gizmo is here. So now I will manipulate this element in this screen view. So now I have no gizmo here in the viewpoint that's not allowed to manipulate the object. So in all the case, I must look right, see, here's the gizmo, zoom a little bit out, come on. So now I can see here, and then I can move here. So, but my problem is if I'm zoom in to this element and I select the parent element, the gizmo is extremely outside. So, and that's my question. If anyone knows if it's a possibility to bring the gizmo in the view screen. So now I'm here. I will add it here.
Well, I think it's always at the center point of the selection, right? I probably you would have to create your own gizmo, your manipulator, right?
Yeah, that's possible to create their own gizmo, but that's not a normal way. So yeah.
If you select the parent, that's obviously that you move the parent.
Yeah.
That's clear. That's totally clear. That's totally clear. I will, in this case, yes, you're right. I'm selecting the bounding box of the X form of these two objects. That's totally clear. But in my case, I will change, or I will see in the zoom field of my view, the gizmo from this bounding box. And I will manipulate both of them, but I have no gizmo to manipulate
That's not
it.
the
No,
bounding
that's-
box.
No.
That's the parent X form, and the parent X form is over there. So
Yeah, the bounding box is over both, you know, like, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Question.
yeah.
So in this case, what about having second viewport?
I would like, yeah, what's the use case basically? You know, normally you have like, if you select the all kinds of elements, you need like to have a like the manipulator manipulate both, right? But you want to like move it could be maybe with a pivot with the pivot extension. You would set the pivot point of the group to a certain point, and then basically probably the manipulator will go to the pivot point. But I'm not sure if that works. That would be my guess, because that's yeah.
I will test it. So I will show you what I mean in the different software, so you can see the virtual commissioning software process simulate. So here, an example, I select an object. So then I press, sorry, that was wrong. In this case, you see the gizmo is here in the robot here. It's a gizmo. So now here I have the possibility to say, hey, the gizmo is here. And I have also the manipulation.
Yeah.
I can switch the gizmo to a different place, and it helps a lot of time. So if you are more in the detail view, then I say, okay, the gizmo is outside. I can say, please switch the gizmo here. So now I have the gizmo here in my viewport and can work easier. So and that is most of the time. So I must load a big project, then you can better understand. But it's in this easy cell, it's not a problem. But in huge cells, that is the situation. You have big cells, you have long distance, and then you have most of the time the situation that you have pillars, you have a lot of things in the view what I'm not allowed directly to manipulate objects, and that is the reason why I ask.
I think that's what the pivot tool is for. I can quickly share, but I must say I haven't used it myself. But see, if you do like developer extensions, you go to the pivot tool and you enable it, and here you can basically set the pivot position to, and pivot is basically the point where your manipulator is attached to. And maybe you can also extend this, but I think see there are several options to actually select the pivot point, right? So that would be my suggestion to look into that. No. But your other guys, do you have any experience with that? Or you could also like, yeah, I see the use of that. You want to like add. It's basically setting the pivot point to a sub-selection of the group, in my opinion. Yeah. But yeah, so anything else? I think like a use case or something. That was like a very specific question. So maybe and if you could also show something more generic or like a use case or something, would be interesting as well.
Maybe I have some ideas. Actually, in the normal way, you don't manipulate the translate or transform from the mesh directly. If you want to move it, you can create a new X form and put the meshes into the single the empty XFROM and put the XFROM and the meshes under your parent XFROM so that you can move it more easily without like changing a lot of things. That is my
like
advice.
a helper layer.
Sorry?
Like a helper layer, but the word layer is improper here.
Yes.
Oh, that's
Yeah. Okay. I will test it. So
yeah, maybe just test it and let's see next time how things go. And if anybody of the group also has an idea, just share it, right?
I mean, for this use case, adding to a pivot to the transform seems like a best solution, apparently. Because if you want to manipulate this, for example, cone from perspective of XForm, then adding a pivot to XForm and applying a pivot which is basically cone transform, would do the trick.
That's what I would suppose as well. But you have to select the parent first. When you in order to, because now you set basically the pivot is kind of a Anfasser or like the local origin, right? If you may, or and for this, you select like the pivot point. One question to the group: should we like go more into that and spend a little more time on that, or go with the next study item, which would be point instancers?
I mean, it's a very concrete problem of one of the members of the group. So I believe it would be good for this person to have a solution. And if he's happy with what he has already, we might
I just want to like make sure that like the others are not like also benefiting from donating their time. So if it's I just want to be like
I will check it. I will look into a little bit deeper. So I'm not sure that's a pivot. It's a pivot. I will see if it can handle my request or requirement. So and then can give you a feedback in the next weeks. Yeah,
that would be great.
Okay, last sentence from my side.
Developer, I would suggest to ask this question to NVIDIA employees, engineers, developers in the Discord from Omniverse.
Yeah,
also a good question. Yeah,
that is one good point. I have joined this Discord, but I have problems to understand how it works. So that is for if we can look. I'm not sure you all know how it works. So I have joined this Discord, but I'm not sure what is the correct place to ask the question. So the NVIDIA forum is extremely huge, and Discord, I have not the knowledge about the Discord where the correct place to ask any questions for that.
A good point. We can also share the Discord server.
Benjamin, I was slightly laughing because I sometimes have the same issue.
Yeah, the NVIDIA forum and the normal NVIDIA forum is huge. A lot of people write anything down, but if I ask any questions, I receive no answer. So that was too huge. And with the Discord, sorry, I'm 45. I'm not sure I'm too old, but I'm too old for Discord. I have problem to. Sorry for that.
Yeah.
I joined
I'm
the
older.
Discord, but I'm.
Likewise.
Okay. Yeah, last sentence. So you can see I create a lot of the extensions. So most of the time is TwinCard, PLC connection, explosion view, behavior studio, a lot of things for which you're commissioning. yeah, that's a lot of the interfaces, a lot of behaviors. So that is what I'm doing all the time. And yeah.
That would be interesting to see, yeah. What like, yeah, use case using that as well, yeah. But
I normally I share all on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. So that is all the time what I'm what is possible to share, I share, so that other users can see what's all is possible. And yeah.
Great. Yeah. So
Good.
thanks for sharing, yeah, and asking the question. I think that's now we're 20 minutes past. Should we like go into the study path, or does anybody else have anything else to share or to ask? So yeah, then let's dive into that. I think let me share my screen. See it? So last time we did like no, that's here the refining instances point, right? And any remarks for that? So I would like then go to point instancing, because that's also a quite nice topic. Yeah. So let's dive into point instance prims. I just move a little more to this side. I gotta right. We'll understand the concept of point instancing and how it differs from scene graph instancing. Yeah, scene graph instancing, that's what we did so far. We create point instance prims from external data sources, properties, and apply point instancing techniques to real-world production scenarios, right? By chance, Ben, did you also use point instancing for your water simulation?
Sorry, please again.
Did you also use point instancing for creating like the water particles?
No. I'm using. Good question. I must look to the extension. Second, I will check it.
Yeah, no, never mind. Just guessing. No.
This is so much functions. So that I'm using this material, and then it was water. It was particle. Particle. Now I'm using particles. And for particles, you have the separate physics extension particle systems.
Yes.
And that was particle system physics is the name of that. That is a functionality that is possible to create with the correct configuration the water and the behavior of water. So that was the different things.
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah, maybe it's in under the hood, also using point instancing. I don't know. Yeah, but
I think I'm not sure. Point instancing is more for point cloud. I think so.
No. So let's dive into it and see.
Okay.
So let's see. Point instancing is implemented as a schema in the point instant prim type, and we use array attributes to describe points in space. Additionally, explicit prototypes represented by prim hierarchies in the stage as specified as relationship targets on a point instance. So you basically define a lot of different points, and at each point some element is instanced. So it's basically if you would just instance a sphere or something, yeah, would have your points, right? But and I know point clouds also use this kind of approach, I guess, for visualization. Yeah, the USD geom point insert details. That's I'll open it, right? That's basically the documentation. Instancing of multiple potential animated prototypes. Yeah. So compared to scene graph instancing, point instances can be less user-friendly and trickier to refine. Most is hidden away in large arrays, yeah, not human readable. But it's designed for massive numbers of simpler items, right? Where the overhead of an instance outweighs the benefits of reuse. What does this mean? Think about leaves on a tree. Yeah, you might have 100,000 leaves on a tree. Started down the path of using scene graph instancing for this. You would need to define each leaf repetition, and you would end up with 1,000 instantiable prims. So if you have already tried to create 100,000 prims, even this takes some time, right? And also you don't want to mess up your scene graph with that, right? It doesn't need to know, is it the leaf 1,203, right? And that's why we take point instancing. No. How does it work? We'll go through a concrete example. Yeah, single box may not have a lot of packing peanuts, but they are not prims, so we want to enumerate in our scene graph. So we have a lot of points, and we put to each point in the box like a peanut. How does it work? Yeah, this is basically defining a point instancer peanuts, and here is basically the secret sauce. It's using prototypes, which are then basically instanced in some positions. Yeah, the prototypes.
Sorry, can I ask one thing? I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's too early. Is the instance, what is this instance, the instance of the what was the name? You have the prototype, you have the reference, and the instance of the reference. Is that the instance of the reference? That is this function, correct? Or is this a different one?
That's so this defines just the point instancer. It's basically if you want to see it as a factory in the programming domain, it would be like a factory creating a lot of instances of these two prototypes, right?
Yeah. You're right. So if we talk about balls or peanuts, yeah. So I know the function instancing. I know the functions, but I'm not sure. It's more a question to me. Is the instance function of reference is the same what here are described? I'm not sure. The word is more to point instancing. I'm not sure that is the same of instancing. I think.
Maybe let's go on with the
okay.
with the thing and see if the question gets answered. Maybe let's see. So it's a schema-based instancing solution. We need to start by defining a point instancer, right? This guy. The point instancer includes the following manager properties: the prototypes. Right, these are those guys, right? That's our basically internal references on this. Proto indices. So we say, okay, first take this prototype, then take this again this, and then the other one, right? And positions, well, sure, you need the positions to where things have to pop up. In this case, the different positions of the peanuts. Orientation and scale are optional, exactly, because you can fully orient this stuff. IDs is an optional attribute if you want to explicit control over the integer ID of each instance. Otherwise, each instance ID is inferred from the element index in the proto indices array. So basically, this is basically just the index of this array position, right? Best practice, we define the prototypes under scope as a descendant of the point instancer. Okay, unlike implicit prototypes in the thing graph instancing, you need to explicitly define each of the prototypes for your point instancer. Purposely use an over specifier for the scope to keep the prototypes from being traversed by default traversals. Yeah, makes sense. So here this over is not a def, right? It's just an over. Purposely and the over this is why they can signal. Yeah, we don't want to render these prototypes. Instances are typically what we want rendered. Let's spend a little time of breaking down how points are mapped to prototypes. In the example, proto indices show blah blah blah. The indices represent an index in the prototypes array. 0 maps to this guy, and 1 maps to this guy. Yeah. 0, 1.
So, so we could also define we could also place the prototypes outside of the structure. Then we don't need the over.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be my way to do it, because normally you already have the prototypes defined in the scene, and then you have a point instancer accessing those.
Yeah, makes sense. I've seen both.
One short
basically.
comment. I think if it's the instancing, what I mean, that is here the important point from NVIDIA side is that the performance of the USD composer. So yes, you are right. You can use a full cell and all these elements with prototypes, but the problem is the performance of PCs, systems, clouds of NVIDIA USD Composer, they have a limit. So, and if you have a huge cells, always prototypes, and the big structure, they reach very quickly the limitation. So, and I think if that this is the instance, what I mean, that is the only way to reduce the power or the performance. So, that I think
sure.
It's
you create like just a lot of less prims with that, right? Maybe I can share a little anecdote as well. When I started doing Omniverse, with 4 years ago or something, I also tried to see what's the performance limitations of Omniverse, and so I always do like this center factoring stuff. So at Christmas time, I tried. So what would happen if Santa Claus would throw all his presents to the earth, right? And this was my first trial to check out the performance of Omniverse. And so first, I also didn't know about the point instancing approach. And so I exactly did the same thing, doing like the prims and a lot of, but these are like a few million parts with, in this case, 4 prototypes or something. So the NVIDIA guys also pointed me to point instancing, and it's, yeah, you can do like lots of elements, and it's not reflected, as you say, Ben, in the GUI. In the GUI, you just have like the actual coordinates of the instances, so it's just an attribute, while having the hierarchy of prims, yeah, that's not performant. And I mean, Composer got a lot of faster from my experience, but this wouldn't still be the right approach to put everything into the prim. Yeah. Yeah.
Is there a difference between instancing and point instancing, or is point instancing just the funny way to call instancing inside Omniverse?
Well, everything we talk about is kind of instancing, right? It's just a different approach of instancing.
Okay.
The basic thing is taking a geometry and duplicating a lot without by using a method which is very efficient, right? Because it's just basically using different elements already on the GPU, so you don't do transfer between GPU and the normal memory, I'd say. That's, yeah, Thomas. Yeah.
Okay.
But good discussion.
So your approach with the center scene would be more cumbersome, because for every frame you would have to update all those position and orientations by a physics solver. Yeah, and maybe also add and subtract instances, because it's kind of a particle system.
That's, yeah.
The main difference, in my opinion, is that this type of point instancing can have a single draw call per prototype. Yes, you can say, dear GPU, this is my first prototype, and here comes 500 positions and orientations and scales. Do your work with these set of textures and colors and shaders, and then go to the next prototype with the other indices. Yeah, and this is something real-time engines need to get performant.
Great
and
explanation.
there are
Thank you.
other implications as well, because probably you need also level of detail with Omniverse. You also need, is something visible or not? Is it occluded? Is it behind something? Yeah. And those topics are handled by the USD.
Yeah, thank you for the explanation.
You're right.
Then you want to
sorry, I would not ask. I would only add a comment for that. That's totally correct what you say, but I will not say but. The situation that it works only with same objects. So like in this example with same peanuts. So if you are using the instance, you have more performance, but you have not the possibility to use the elements in different ways. So if you will break the peanut, yeah, so 10 peanuts fall down and the other one you will break down. So in this case, you have the same elements, but if you are using the instance, they have only a parent USD. It's not the parent USD, but you only reference a parent USD, and then you have no childs. And in this case, if you have different textures, or you will use different actions with the elements, then it brings no benefit. So that is that is most of the time the answer from NVIDIA to say, hey, you must instancing. But in most of the time, if you will work with the objects in this USD, in the USD composer, then you cannot instancing. You must have all the time a prototype or a reference to manipulate the child USDs. So that is all okay, all right. So
yeah, as you say, it always depends on the use case. So some techniques to deal with that is also like de-instancing some things. We already looked into that. But yeah, as you can do quite a lot of variants by using this approach. But as you say, if you want to handle some specific things differently, yeah, you have to use de-instanced things, yeah, objects. But yeah, maybe let's go a little further. Maybe there are also some nice informations on that as well. Yeah, we did that. We looked into the orientation and scale. So you basically can transform also the instances set for each different position and orientation and scale. So let's give some variance as well. Yeah, they said they define the prototypes under here. But yeah, you don't have to, right? Yeah. So query and overriding point instances. Now it gets interesting. Many of the point instance properties are array attributes. There is no easy way to ask for information about individual instances here, as you said, Ben, right? Much of the data has been vectorized. You potentially have giant arrays of positions, orientation, scales, etc. You have to index into those arrays yourself to query data about a particular instance or to override any of them. Additionally, at the moment, there is no way to do sparse overrides on arrays. I don't think that's still the case. I think in the new version of OpenUSD, there is also a way to do this sparse override on arrays. I'm actually not sure myself. Did you guys see that yet? I have to look it up, but if you want to move even a single point in a point instance, you need to author the entire positions array again for the new opinion. Yeah. So see, you have point instance requiring full arrays for each time sample. Yeah. So you can't just set one, but you always have to set a full array until now. Yeah. Keep this in mind as a profound downstream overrides and consideration you may need to make about things like USD layers format. Makes sense. When you specify positions on a point instance, you're defining positions in a point instance, a local coordinate space. However, when the USD computes the final word space position of each instance, it combines multiple transforms together. Each instance USD applies the following transforms in order from most local to at least local. So we have the prototype root transform, the local to parent. I see, Jan, good. Thank you for the link. So we can look into that. Fruit rotor, yeah. Instance-specific transforms, the per instance transformation applied next in this order, scale, orientation, position. Yeah, that's always good to know how transforms are applied. All this big source of strange behavior, right? Point instance prim transform, the transformation authored on the point instance prim itself is applied least locally. Okay. This means that you can move an entire point instance around your scene by transforming the point instance prim, and you can have prototypes with their own local transforms that will be incorporated into each instance final position. So basically, with a point instancer, you move all this, right? And with the positions inside, you move it relative to the point instance, or basically root, if I see this correctly. Yeah, let's go into the exercise, right? Or any let's look at the link Jan has already found out what's instancing. Yes. Blah blah blah. Point instancer, right? Yeah, awesome. Is there also like something on the array override? No, I have to look that in.
Wait, I'll check.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah, thank you. I think yeah, in the one of the newest USD versions there is something. So yeah, let's dive into the exercise, huh? This exercise will learn how to create point instance from a JSON file that emulates exported data from a simulation application. Point instancing is a powerful technique. Yeah, we already know that. Large numbers of similar objects. You read scattered data of boxes and pallets and create a point instance of prim. Essential for handling massive data sets. Exactly. Yeah. So we open our instancing x point author point instancer in VS Code. Commit, open folder. Just opening. Maybe let's do that like this, right? Oop. By the way, can I close on? Yeah, there we go. What was it? X point author point instancer. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So what happens here? We read an points export JSON. We open a stage, create a point instancer, create our prototypes container, define two prototypes, probably CubeBox and box palette. And then we basically fill the attributes with the data in the JSON file. Let's look at the JSON file. Yeah, nothing to be afraid of. It's just, you know, a bunch of orientations. That's off. Yeah, and some here we've got the proto IDs. That's basically what prototype to use. So a lot of zeros and a little that's probably the pallets. It's more or less, right? Here are like the positions probably. Yeah. That makes perfectly sense. So the script reads position orientation and prototype data from a JSON file. We just had that. Then it creates a point instancer with two prototypes, is CubeBox and box palette. And it populates it with thousands of instances. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just run. So what did I forget to do? As always, we have to activate our environment. And we run it and see what happens. Okay. Yeah, shouldn't notice any additional output. Yeah, we didn't notice that when we open the scenario USD in USD view to see what the script did. Do that. And maybe I'll also take some. Oh, yeah, there we go. Zoop. Yeah, that's how it looks like. Yeah, nice. So what do we see? We see a lot of pallets and boxes, right? In our scene, but here in our scene graph, we just see like the point instancer. That's basically and the prototypes, right? Oh, that's pretty cool, yeah, to have like such a lot of elements and just control it with that. So what does it say? Yeah, it's got a single. Yeah, we just dramatically reducing the scene complexity. Yeah, and it's fast as hell because the GPU has basically just the work for one box and one pallet, right? And everything else is like, as Thomas mentioned, is just for the GPU, like no real effort, right? So yeah. I've successfully learned how to create point instances from exported data, crucial technique for handling large-scale scenes efficiently. Point instances can represent 100,000 of objects with minimal memory overhead while maintaining full visual fidelity, making this approach essential for production workflows with massive data sets. Exactly. Yeah. Nice example. I like it. Should we then go into, let's look into, time is a little sparse, but let's, go into, because the refining point instances, you also can like add more variants to that. And I think it's using primvars. Yeah. Refinement using primvars, exactly. Maybe for the remaining time, let's read a little into that and see how far we get, right? Primvars using vertex interpolation will be applied per instance. Like scene graph instancing, you can introduce a lot of diversity in your point instances by using prototypes that read primvars. In the case of our packing peanut example, our packing peanut assets material network may read from a primvars peanut color primvar. Yeah. Authoring this primvar on our point instancer could enable us to make each peanut a different color. Yeah, so you still can like control each instance in this point cloud, in this point instances, right? If you want to introduce more variety on a point instance with additional prototypes, point instancing's explicit prototype pattern requires a bit more work than scene graph instancing. We'll need to define an additional prim hierarchy for the new prototype. Add the new prototype to the prototypes relationship, update proto indices to specify which instances should use the new prototype. That's also a good thing. Refining visibility and deactivation. At any point downstream, you can refine your point instance by pruning or hiding instances using inactive metadata and invisible IDs. And that's exactly one approach to tackle what you wanted, Ben. Because then at the stage where you like want to crack up things or something, you would like deactivate this or hide this instance and replace it basically with your more elaborate setup, right? Good rule of thumb is that you need to animate an instance on and off over time. You should use invisible IDs, otherwise use inactive IDs. Nice feature of inactive IDs is that it can be list edited, so you can sparsely add and remove IDs. Okay, so yeah. Refining using promotion. What is this? This case is what we call turning a point instance into a full-fledged subgraph on the stage. So that's exactly what I was mentioning. Ben, yeah?
I have a quick question. So it's clear, or the function is clear by Python. So my question is more, is there a possibility to add the point instancer without Python? So I can't find any buttons or functions. So it is only working with a Python code.
That's a good question. Let's see. Let's open
that is
just
all code written either in C++ or Python.
was more a UI question whether there's a button
I
you
think
can
it's
press.
more a UI thing. Anything you see here, you can also do with C++, because the
Yeah, you
Python
can
part
use
is
C++.
just yeah.
And
What was?
what I often do is I directly create a text USD file, a USDA, with any kind of tools.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Good
So
point.
you could,
Yeah.
And,
that is the problem
then-
with USD. So you have so much opportunities and so much different ways.
but you need to have the right syntax. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you manually edit it, you better make sure that the syntax is right. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see right in the right corner in the column type, you have point instancer, and I think this function is not available outside or with a UI. So if you're not
That's not a function. That's just saying I found a prim of this scheme type, and most of these type schemes are known to the compiled framework. You could add your own private custom schemes as well if you compile it, and if you also tell the composer that it's available and what to present in the attributes column.
Yeah, and I mean, you always can write an extension to make this available, right? But I don't see. Maybe let's see if there is already some extension for that.
Thomas, I think I mean a little
Service
bit
instancer.
Where is it, Jan?
No, I'm just asking. I'm just pointing in there. Just schreib's mal einfach rein oben, Service Instancer, ob es das gibt. Nee, deprecated.
Omniverse.
Streaming at something else. Point cloud.
What I mean is more that's the function is clear, but with the correct name, or you can add it to the USD. It's clear, but if you click on one object, right click, or on the properties, you have the possibility to have the checkbox instancing. So, and that's I think the same thing. So if you select any object, so in this case block palette R07. So the last one.
You mean this?
Yeah, and then you have the checkbox instance able. So and these I think make the same thing, but
not quite. So it depends how you look on it. This is here this is already a prototype of the point instancer. So I think if I press this, I'm not sure what happens, but probably nothing, right?
now you have the instance. So now I'm not sure that is a reference. I'm not sure here that is a.
This is a reference,
yeah, that's a reference to the prototype. So that's not the prototype. This symbol reference to the prototype. So the prototype is the prototype is one. You have one prototype, and with a reference, you can reference each time of these one prototype. So
So,
and with the instance, they have the same function like these with the pellets. They not load all the details, and
this would be like a normal reference, right? But here it's basically it's a prototype for the point instancer, right? So this is used as a prototype. Information to be perfectly
so you could
detailed, right? But
as I mentioned before,
you don't want to mix it.
You are not forced to place it in the hierarchy,
right?
In the prototypes group. You can place it anywhere.
You can also do this, right?
All
Yeah. See?
it needs is that in the array defining the prototypes, it needs the full path to every prototype. It could be anywhere in your hierarchy, in your scene.
See now I've put like my copy here to as another prototype, right? And I could address it with now with the index 2, right? 0, 1, 2.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Makes sense. So yeah, maybe
Very interesting, yeah.
let's just maybe play with it a little in the upcoming week, and also look into the pivot thing of Ben. Have you any other things you would like to show or discuss next week? Anybody from the?
Yes, I mostly use Isaac Sim to explore the behaviors of physics, and my fun use case now is the pendulum. And yes, you can use a simple pendulum to draw like this Precisionsfigures. And
you want to show it, or like yeah?
I have to show it the next time.
Yeah, but would be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, then I also have to leave. So you guys have a great weekend, and see you next week. Bye.
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 Okay, jetzt ausgegangen.